Hey guys, it's Reading with Audrey, back again with another video, and today we will be reading Chapter 8 of All the Lovely Bad Ones by Mary Downing Hahn. In the last chapter, what happened were some crazy paranormal experiences. Travis and Cory's room just got, attacked by ghosts. It was insane. Gave me chills, really creeped me out. And you know who else it creeped out? Grandma! Grandma is starting to believe in ghosts. Mind-blowing. I know, right? The person who doesn't believe in ghosts is starting to believe in ghosts. Crazy. I personally still am not 100% convinced that the inn is haunted. I just think that they might have brought some ghosts inside of the inn. I don't think that the ghosts live there and were woken up. But I don't know, I might be wrong. Let's find out in the next chapter of All the Lovely Bad Ones by Mary Downing Hahn. Let's get on with the book, guys. Chapter 8. Miss Duval was the first to break the unnatural silence. "Surely, Miss Donovan," she said in a theatrically low voice, "you can't no longer harbor even the slightest doubt that the inn is haunted." Grandmother raised her hand and stared at the psychic. "Frankly," she said, "I don't know what to think." "How else would you explain what we have all witnessed in this room?" Miss Duval asked. Grandmother rose to her feet, a little unsteadily, but with her dignity intact. "If you and Mr. Cockley are somehow responsible for this, I will bring a lawsuit against you." Miss Duval drew herself up as tall as possible and gave Grandmother a look of utter dismay. "I assure you that neither Chester nor I—" Grandmother swept past as if the woman was of no importance than a toadstool. "Please go back to your rooms," she said, "and do not enter my quarters again. By checkout time tomorrow, I expect you both to be gone." "But," Chester began, "nothing you can do or say will change my mind," Grandmother said. "I want you both out of here." Turning to Cory and me, she added, "As for you two, please go to bed at once. We'll talk about this in the morning. I'm exhausted." Still protesting, Chester and Miss Duval followed Grandmother out of the room. "Don't you understand what this means to paranormal research?" Chester said. Grandmother shut the door and we didn't hear the answer. "Please, don't leave me here all by myself, Travis," Cory begged. "I'm scared to death they'll come back." She tossed me a blanket and an extra pillow, and I tried to make myself comfortable on the floor. I didn't want to be alone any more than my sister did. "I kind of wish my grandmother would send us home," Cory said. "I don't like it here anymore." "Even camp doesn't seem so bad now," I said. "Swimming in a freezing lake at 7 a.m., eating lumpy oatmeal and mystery meat and mushy lima beans, hiking 10 miles uphill, making potholders and clay animals and singing those dumb camp songs and striking out in softball." Cory's voice slowed and thickened and finally trailed off into a sleepy, snoring mumble. I turned this way and that, but whether I lay on my side or my back or my stomach, I couldn't relax. Every sound frightened me. A rustle in the leaves, a sigh of wind, the tap of a branch against the window, a creak in the hall outside the door. At any moment, I expected to hear giggles and feel the pinch of invisible fingers. Worse yet, what if the thing from the grove came howling through the window again? Excuse me. Early in the morning, I left Cory sleeping and hobbled back to my room, as stiff as an old man from sleeping on the floor. Pages from books littered the floor. My favorite sweatshirt was now sleeveless. My t-shirt were torn in half. Shreds of my socks hung from the ceiling light. My chair lay on its back on the top of my desk, which was now on my bed. The mirror over the bureau was cracked, and the bureau's drawers were on the lawn, their contents scattered on the grass. Wow, what a mess. Chester stood outside my window, staring into my room. Before I knew what he was doing, he climbed over the sill. "Mind if I take some pictures? This should be documented." "Help yourself," I said. "Maybe you'd like to clean it up when you're done." Chester laughed as if I were joking and began shooting. "The socks are a nice touch," he said, aiming his camera at the ceiling light. Cory appeared in my doorway and glared at Chester. Why are you still here? We've got until noon to check out. Chester moved to my bed and photographed the desk and the chair from several angles. This is amazing stuff. Poltergeist activity, laughter, pinching, cussing, cold spots. I'll be the envy of every paranormalist in the world. What are you doing in here? Grandmother took Chester by surprise. Clasping his camera to his chest, he backed away. The children invited me in, he lied. Well, I'm disinviting you, Grandmother said. Get out of my grandson's room. Yes, ma'am, I was just leaving anyway. Chester left the way he'd come in. Grandmother looked around. Please explain what's going on, she said in a very weary voice. If you can, that is. You were in Cory's room last night, I said. You saw what we saw. You heard what we heard. I wish we could explain it, but... I shrugged, unable to think of anything to say. Grandmother removed the chair from the desk, set it on the floor, and with a sigh, sat on it. Shutting her eyes, she took a deep breath. That's right, I saw and I heard. As a result, I lay awake for hours trying to think of an explanation and failed, utterly. Rising to her feet, Grandmother said, I suggest we have breakfast. After that, please clean up your room. When everything is back to normal, I'd like to pretend like last night did not happen. Turning my back on the wreckage, I followed Grandmother to the dining room. She could chase off the psychics. She could make me clean up my room. She could pretend last night hadn't happened. She could even send Cory and me back to New York. But the ghosts were here and they weren't leaving. Not until they got what they wanted. Whatever that was. Alrighty guys, that is the end of Chapter 8 of All the Lovely Bad Ones by Mary Downing Hahn. I'm sorry that both of the chapters in both of these books today were oddly short. They were both like, I think 5-7 minutes long, something like that. I'm really, really sorry. They weren't very interesting. Nothing juicy happened in either of them. But now we know for sure, 100%, that Grandma still does not like Mr. Chester and Miss Duval, and she still doesn't 100% believe in ghosts. Now she's just questionable about it and is completely confused, has no clue what's going on. Cory and Travis are ready to get out of this horrifying place, and they can't sleep at night anymore because, well, what if the ghosts come back into their rooms and torture them again? I don't know. We'll have to find out in the next chapter of All the Lovely Bad Ones by Mary Downing Hahn. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and make sure to have a good day. Love you.